Hi guys, Tom here, Man City Fan TV. Welcome to the Thursday night Tom show. We are live. Obviously, it's Thursday. It's 9 o'clock, and we are here with a special guest. Joining me for the predictions tonight is Corey from the West Ham Way. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, so that's saying to you beforehand. It's come round quick, play on Monday, and obviously you get
Yeah.
into the Champions League final. It's back onto the weekend, back onto the Premier League. You're probably close to wrapping it up now, are you? Surely.
Yeah, exactly. If we get the win this weekend against Chelsea, we've won it. So it's been waiting for a while. We've been waiting, and we've finally hopefully come round to getting it this weekend. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll get into a few of those, and then we'll talk a little bit about obviously your club, Corey, West Ham, and then we'll get into the predictions. So we've got Man City fans saying hello. We've got Sean saying hi, Tom. Hope you're well, mate. We've got Charlie saying evening, Tom. Sean saying sorry I missed the stream last night. It was because I forgot you were on. By the time I realised I had to go to bed, that's fine. If you watched it afterwards, that's all right. Jack Lee's on saying good evening, Blues. So as people are filtering in, I'll ask you, Corey, how do you think this season's gone?
It's all right, mate. It's not too bad. It's different not fighting relegation. Like I always say to the All Leeds boys as well, that obviously when I spoke to them first, I expected us to get relegated. I really did think that we weren't good enough, and there was a lot of issues there, and there's a lot. I think there was a lack of trust as well with David Moyes. But honestly, as the season's gone on, we've improved, and people will say it's only against Burnley, but some of the football we were playing is fantastic to see. So it's nice to have a club that it feels like we're on the up a little bit. Obviously, this season's a bit of an anomaly. I'm not sure we're going to be kicking it around top four next, but I just feel that next season we can kick on with a few decent signings, staying in around the top 10, and hopefully we get European football because, again, I feel like we've moved to this stadium with promises of getting it, and to finally kind of even get in there, it's just a pleasure. So fingers crossed, everything crossed. We've got a couple of games to go, winnable fixtures, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed you get it, because, it was realistically out of everyone in the fight at the moment, you were probably the team, realistically, as you said, probably was the most unlikely to be there. So it'd be good for you to get it, and David Moyes has done a good job. And I was also going to ask you, I think we've discussed this recently in the past on other shows when we've been on it. David Moyes, what do you think the situation is going to be with him in the summer? Do you reckon he'll get an extra extension on the contract and, he'll stay, or do you reckon he'll move on?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit dodgy because he essentially gets a year extension if West Ham stay up this year. So I think that's what the board, and I could talk about a board all day, how poor they are. I think that's what they're banking on. For me, I'd give him a 3-year deal. I think he's earned it. I think the trust that, and listen, I was dubious of him even going into November, December, because some of the decision making, the way that we were playing, we brought Ben Rama and he didn't feature a lot. There was still a lot of question marks, and at the time we didn't really know whether we would stay at that level. So we weren't really too sure, but from what I've seen in terms of coaching ability, he's up there. He definitely has earned his place this season where he is. I think if we finish in the top four, for me, I know you'd probably say Pep, obviously because you've won the title and possibly even the Champions League, but he does deserve a shout for Manager of the Year because what he's done on a really small squad with a lack of support from the board is incredible. It's basically a miracle. The injuries we've had last 2 months as well, he's dealt with them really well. So I'm buzzing. Who would have thought I'd be sitting here saying David Moyes is the Moyes sire? But to be honest, he's proven me wrong. So I've got to give him all the credit he deserves.
Exactly. That's what we want to hear. So fingers crossed you can get it. And obviously we'll go into the predictions a little bit later. But fingers crossed we can help you out this weekend and get a win against Chelsea.
Do them over. Let's not have do me the Champions League and all. I don't want Chelsea anymore, honestly.
Good. Who else is on? We've got Blue Moon saying good evening. We've got Ray J 737 saying, hey Tom, I've read some reports about Ake being allowed to leave. Are these inaccurate? And he does not leave. Have you heard anything? I've been trying to find some information on that recently, and it does seem like he will be allowed to go if he wants to go. I think it's I think he's been sort of pushed out of the way a little bit, and I think he's struggling to see how his future at City is going to be, especially being at the age he's at as well. Maybe looking somewhere else is probably ideal for him to get first team football with the players that we're playing at the moment. So from what I've heard, and for people who I've spoken with in the club and stuff that I found out, it is true. I think he is considering his future. Corey, would you take him?
We got Craig Dawson. No, I'm only kidding. He's a very good centre-back, to be honest. I don't think it's top of the priority list centre-back for us. I think we definitely need a few strikers, and possibly Lingard's going to come in. But down the road, who knows? It's a shame for him. I think probably I didn't expect John Stones to be the player that he is, or certainly return to form. And when you've got Laporte and Diaz, who for me is absolutely outstanding in front of you, it's always going to be frustrating. So keep a keen eye on it. I'd be interested to see who goes for him. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like an Arsenal possibly goes for him with David Luiz out the door. So
yeah, it's not a bad shout, that. We've got SOS2907 saying, evening Blues, welcome Corey. We've got a friendly bunch. They are a friendly bunch, Corey. They do welcome everyone.
I don't mind West Ham.
No. I think my dad's mentions that a little bit further down in one of his comments. Jack Lee saying, hi Corey, hope you're well, buddy. Nice to see the Hammers doing well. Hope you get top 4. Sean saying, welcome Corey. Nice to have a West Ham United fan on in the City Fan channel. Big up. There you go. Oh, we have to get all the different fans on. That's what we do on these shows. Here he is, City Chippy. Evening, chaps. Happy Hammers, definitely my favourite set of fans outside City. That's my dad. So we both have that opinion, like I said to you the other week.
Yeah.
Sean saying, up West Ham, get top 4 and keep out of Chelsea and Liverpool. That would be nice. Anybody else? No. Right then, we've got Charlie. That's it. Anyway, right then, let's get into it. I don't know what he said. He said Moyes won't get manager of the season. That's why. It's also
let's have something. You've won everything else.
we should let you have that one.
Yeah, come on.
Didn't Lingard get player of the season? Player of the month? Yeah, has he not got that yet?
No, they just keep giving it to Bruno. He's got it out 4 times this year, isn't he?
Sorry, I forgot about that. It's always Bruno, isn't it? Salah will probably get it before Lingard at this rate.
Wouldn't surprise me
because he scored a goal. Anyway, into the predictions. As you know, last week we had Joe on, obviously a person me and Corey know very well, and he's put the guests on a very good platform. Obviously, the Liverpool Man United game didn't go ahead because of some tools, so he didn't obviously get those points, but he did get 10 points in total, and I got 5. So the guests have got a 5-point gap to me already. So
don't worry, mate. Well, by the time I'm done, you'll probably be 2 points ahead. I'm terrible at score predictions.
Oh dear! I didn't even get one correct score last week. He came out with like 5 different. He came out with like 5 correct. So I was like, how's he managed this? But anyway, on to Friday's game, which is tomorrow. We have got Leicester versus Newcastle. Newcastle in decent form recently. Leicester hitting it again. Iheanacho's doing bits for him. What do you think? How do you think that's going to go?
I think Leicester win. I think they'll have one eye a little bit on that FA Cup final. For me, I think they're top 4. I think they've secured it, particularly with that win the other week. So Newcastle, they've had a slight upturn. I think a lot of that's got to be down to St. Maximin. Obviously, the way that they can play, settled on a 5-3-2 now, which means that they can sit deep and counter-attack, which again, if you do that, I'm sure you'll know from Man United, you will eventually go and pick up some points. But I do feel that Leicester will win this comfortably. I'm going to go 3-1 Leicester. Newcastle get 1 goal.
Yeah, I went with 2-0. I think we're on the same lines. I think it'll be a pretty comfortable result for Leicester. I think Newcastle won't really turn up. They'll probably sit defensive and see if they can get something on the counter-attack, obviously with someone like St. Maximin, and see what they can get. But, I guess they did get a decent result, Liverpool, so anything could happen. But, I think Leicester have got too much quality. Yeah.
They beat us as well, so can't really slate them too much, to be honest.
On to the next game, Leeds versus Tottenham. We best be kind. I don't know if any of them are watching. Leeds, obviously, in good form up till that obviously disappointing result to Brighton last week. And obviously Spurs having a bit of an up and down time, obviously, with Mourinho going and then obviously Mason coming in. Did get a result the other week. How do you think that one's going to go? It'd be quite interesting to see, to be honest.
Yeah, it will be. I think Leeds really disappointed me when I watched them against Brighton. I thought they would sort of have the bit between their teeth, and obviously they picked up some really big results in recent weeks, but they just didn't turn up. I feel that coming up against Spurs, they will turn up. I think they've got some great players. I think Llorente's come in and done fantastic. Calvin, some real top performances. I think they'll want to finish the season well. Again, Tottenham with Gareth Bale in the side and Heung-min Son, you can never write them off. If it's an open game, they'll benefit. They did last time when they beat them 3-0. I'm going to go 2-2. There's goals in this game. Yeah. And I feel that defensively Tottenham are really, really vulnerable. So I fancy a draw here.
Yeah, I went for a 2-1 Tottenham win. I think they might just might just edge it on the day. But, conditions and stuff, at Ellen Road, who knows? It could be the other way around. But, there definitely will be goals. It won't be one of those 0-0 boring games. I can't see it being something like that with, the sort of football Bielsa likes to play anyway. On to the next one, which is Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. Sheffield United obviously getting that win the other week, doing Hal proud. But apart from that, and obviously Crystal Palace coming off that, defeat to us, how do you think that one's going to go?
I think I'm going to be doing something else when that game's on. I don't think I'll be watching it. Sheffield United have really, I wouldn't say disappointed me. You have to remember that effectively they are a side of League One and Championship players. Recruitment was horrific over the summer with some of the striking options, and that's kind of where you stay in the league on your strikers and whether you can get goals. Palace are in a weird state where they're just waiting for Hudson to retire, and half the team are leaving at the end of the season. So I think probably their owners are just happy and content with just sort of ploughing along. You've only got 4 games left. So I think it's going to be boring, but I do fancy Palace to do it 2-1. I think Zaha has turned up in the past couple of games, so I imagine he'll be ready to raring to go.
Yeah, I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I can see it being one of them where it's just going to be, like you say, it's one that you're not going to put into your planner to watch, is it? Really, realistically, if you're not a Sheffield United or Crystal Palace fan, I think it'd be quite a laid back game, like you say. Sheffield United already relegated. Crystal Palace, near enough safe now. They're all right. It's just going to be one of those games just to have a run out. Slow, sort of. There's probably on holiday already. They're on the beach already. Yeah. That's the one. And then obviously the last game of Saturday, the big one, 5:30 kickoff, Man City versus Chelsea. Obviously, the Champions League final at the end of the month. How do you think that one's going to go? After 2, obviously, ecstatic wins for both clubs in the week.
Yeah, really impressive from Man City, by the way. I think against PSG, mentality-wise, definitely. It's interesting to see how Guardiola isn't switching between formations anymore. The personnel that he brought in, Fernandinho playing in that type of game, and people say he's sort of over it, and he's 36, but he really turned up in that. And for me, Chelsea are equally as impressive in terms of tactically. They're absolutely spot on. I know people say it's just Madrid, but I thought Kante was sublime at times. This game for me tactically is the most interesting to see between Guardiola and Tuchel because it's gonna be tight. But I do feel that City can win it. It's just about Pep again not rotating the squad, picking his strongest 11. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe Pep feels that he needs to give these players a rest. He's got obviously the Champions League coming up. Maybe, or he looks at it and says, "Let's just get this job done," and he turns up. But I do think City can win the game 2-1 if you go for it. But I feel like in the FA Cup semi-final, it was a little bit like he was a bit scared of Chelsea. Played a double pivot, Rodri Fernandinho. Yeah. He didn't need to, and it was too late then. And for me, against Chelsea, the only way you can beat them, you press them, you try and press them high, and you force their defence into issues. So maybe from that. But I'm going to back you. Please batter them. Go and beat them 4-0. Don't get them in that top 4. But it will be 2-1 for me.
I've gone for a low scoring one. I've gone 1-0 City. I think he's not going to play the strongest team. I don't think he's going to let the cat out of the hat. I think he's going to save, the plan for them for that Champions League final. I can see him doing the 4-4-2 like he did last week, with Aguero and Jesus up front, bringing players in, probably bring Rodri in for a run out, probably brings Laporte and Ake back in, Cancelo, Mendy, bringing some of the guys who obviously didn't get a run out midweek. Sterling will probably have a run out too. And I think you'll see a little bit of a weakened side just on the fact, they played so well in midweek. Players will deserve rest. And I think also to the fact that, with that massive game coming up, releasing tactics too early can, that they can work on stuff. And obviously, bearing in mind, we've played him so many times already this season as well. Obviously, under Lampard and Tuchel, as I like to call him, Thomas Tuchel.
Tommy Tuchel, yeah.
Tommy Tuchel, yeah, as I like to call him that, yeah. So I can see it being, for us, especially with this squad depth that we have, can see it being quite a low scoring game, but as long as we get the win, Corey, that's all you'll be bothered about, won't it?
Yeah,
that's all you'll be bothered about. Yeah, and that's all I'm bothered about too. As long as we win it, and we can get that league wrapped up, then we can, we could probably start playing some of the youngsters. Start trying some new stuff for the last few games. seeing for next season who can come in and replace others that are leaving and stuff like that. So, it'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, hopefully a win, and we can bounce on and get into that final of the Champions League. And well, we're already in it, and get to that final and smash it into touch. I hope we absolutely smash them. It'd be nice, but I can see it being quite a tight game.
It's a huge game, isn't it? I've backed you. I think someone asked me, do you think who's favourites? I think City are, to be honest. And someone said, well, they've not been there before. I'm like, they don't really... You've played Chelsea. This is the thing. How many times Man City are playing Chelsea between now and that final is so important, because there's going to be mind games going on, and they're both super intelligent managers. And if they see any type of chink in the armour, then they will go for it.
100%. 100%. It'll be an interesting game anyway. If he does come out with his strongest side, excuse me, and it will be interesting. But yeah, that's Saturday's fixtures. On to Sunday. We've got a few games on Sunday, starting off with Wolves versus Brighton. Graham Potter's side obviously coming off that Leeds win, and Wolves doing okay. They're starting to get a little bit of form going back after that disappointing result to Burnley the other month. Apart from that, they've been doing all right. So yeah, how do you think that one's going to go?
Again, really impressed with Brighton against Leeds. It's sort of the reverse side of things. I thought they were spot on tactically. I think there's a reason people were a lot of Spurs fans, or some of them, are turning their nose up at Graham Potter because it's not a glamorous name, but some of the football that he plays with that squad is really, really good. And I think there's no surprise when Welbeck plays, they've got a little bit of a better goal threat, and they're a bit more clinical than they have been. And I think that's the difference for Brighton. You go and get a decent striker into that side, and they're nowhere near, really. They play so much good stuff, and we had problems against them when we played them at London Stadium. So Wolves, a weird one again. When we beat them 3-2, and we allowed them back into the game. They got players that can change it. Missed Jimenez hugely. Adama Traore is a nightmare. If they can get him in advanced positions, then they can try and get him behind that Brighton, almost a back three at times. But for me, I feel Brighton win it. I think they win it comfortably. I think they control the game. I'm going to go 2-0 Brighton.
2-0 Brighton.
Backfire when they don't score and their XG's through the roof. But I don't know. I just feel with certain... I don't know about you, but with certain players in there, Lallana, Bissouma, they can control games in the midfield. And then you've got the likes of someone like a Danny Welbeck, whose finish was different class. So, I think they'll do them. I think they'll do them 2-0.
Yeah, I've gone for a 1-0 Brighton win. I think it'll be a controlled 1-0 or definitely Brighton. I think Brighton will win it. They've got enough there to control the game. Like they did against Leeds. As much as Leeds were poor, they played really well. And I think, like you say, with Bissouma, Lallana, and obviously Welbeck up front, they do link up well. And it is a good unit, and what Potter does for them, having, Lewis Dunk and obviously, White and, what's his name now? Dan Burn as well.
Oh, yeah, Dan Burn, yeah.
I like Dan Burn. I think he's brilliant. The guy, he's about 6'4", and he runs up and down that wing like a madman. I think his tactics are brilliant on that, and it really worked when they went to Anfield. He was all over the shop doing really good. But yeah, I can see Brighton dominating this and getting that win. I think they'll just outsmart Wolves. I think Wolves have sort of written off this season now. After that Jimenez injury, like you said, Corey, they haven't been the same. They'll be hoping to get him back for next season and start afresh. After they were in decent form before then, but it just seems like without that out-and-out striker, they've really struggled.
But the problem is with them is that they built their whole side around him, and he's such a good, well-rounded striker. He's not just a finisher. He comes deep, he collects it, he's good on the ball. Like, he's got so many facets to his play. When you take someone like that out of there, and also they've had other players missing. Podence hasn't played regularly this season. The early door's very impressive. So I think this is inevitably, you come up from the Championship and you have one season that's a little bit off, but I'd watch out for them next season, because if they go and they invest right and they get Jimenez back, I think they'll be kicking it around top 10. Yeah. It'll be tough for us, because I'm sure we'll be in and around there as well.
We'll see. On to the second game of the weekend, which is Aston Villa versus Manchester United. United obviously not been played. Well, they're playing tonight, but obviously they haven't played for a few till obviously since last Thursday. After the protests, obviously they didn't play the so-called biggest game in England. And then obviously they're playing tonight over in Roma, coming back, travelling to Villa Park. How do you see that one going?
I think it'll be really boring. I've got to be completely honest. I think that Villa have lost a bit of an edge without Jack Grealish in there. And again, similar to Wolves, how when you build a side or you give a player that amount of freedom and you build in and around a lot of your creativity with him, when you take him out, your game plan goes. And there's other players, to be fair, that haven't stepped up for Villa. I don't think Barkley's been as consistent as he probably should have been. I like Traore, but again, you can't really do it on your own. So they do miss that kind of focal point and that kind of player that they can get the ball to Ollie Watkins through. Man United, I think they play some awful football. I've got to be completely honest. I don't feel they've got a real identity. I don't get it. But having said that, they've got world-class players. Pogba on his day is absolutely unbelievable. And to be fair to Ollie, if you're going to give him any credit, playing him on that left-hand side of almost like an attacking three, you're getting the best out of him. Cavani's movement. I think it will be relatively boring, but I think the way that Villa will play, they'll try and press a little bit higher. I can see United winning 2-0. I think they'll get something on the counter.
Well, we've gone for the same. It's the first score. We've got the same there, Corey. I've gone 2-0 too. I can see United just, like you say, they play some decent football. I know it pains me to say it sometimes, but they do. And I think they'll just, rummage through and get that 2-0. I can't, like you say, Villa without Grealish is an average side. And, it's like, like we were just talking about before with Jimenez, they base their side around the creativity of Grealish to, feed off to Watkins and, the guys up front. And, they've missed that. And, it's shown, it has really shown. And, I do personally think ever since that COVID outbreak there, it's been downhill since because they had a bit of form, doing well. And now they've sort of gone downhill from there, really.
They were a nightmare. They were an absolute nightmare. Yeah. I remember playing against them both times and thinking, I really don't want to play Aston Villa because they're such a good team. And we beat them in the second time. We were quite convincing in that. But that's the difference I feel that with West Ham this season, where we have players that are important like Antonio and Lingard, but the play doesn't necessarily go through them. You can get an odd set piece or we can do something. Like now teams have got to be multifaceted. You can't just rely on one player to keep going because when he goes, Grealish is unbelievable. So you can't replace him. So you're going to have to figure it out. Yeah,
you have. It'll be interesting to see what happens. On to the next game, which is the second biggest game of the weekend, and that's West Ham versus Everton. How do you think that one's going to go? I won't even introduce how you've been doing because you've been doing absolutely superb.
Yeah. It's Everton. I'll talk about Everton first. They're a strange old team. They're really good away from home and they're really poor at home. I think a lot of it's regarding what they do with possession. I feel that they're a little bit one-dimensional, and that's why they are good away from home with less possession when you're playing the ball to Calvert-Lewin and you can get something. There's not really enough creativity in there without Rodriguez. Benefits West Ham massively. I think when we beat them last time, it was a bit of a smash and grab, to be honest. It felt like we were defensively solid, nullified them, and then we nicked one at the end. This time round, Antonio's in the side as a focal point. Lingard's now at the club. We've got players that can really get in behind, stretch them, and we can cause them a lot more issues. I think we win the game 2-1. And the only reason I say with one goal is because West Ham have switched off defensively at least at one point or two, or even three against Arsenal at times. So it does happen. And I think that's just a consequence of us being a little bit more expansive. But I do think we get the job done. And hopefully we do. Because I do think if we win this game, we get Europa League football, particularly where Everton are.
Definitely. And I've gone for a 2-1 win to you guys too. I can see you just having the finishing touch on them. If you turn up like you have done, and keep that defence tight at the back, you'll be fine. Obviously that the Arsenal game, you started off so well and then sort of went downhill. It was a crazy game that one, wasn't it?
Best half an hour I've seen us play, and then we just fell apart. We almost got to 3-0 and didn't know what to do with ourselves. And it sounds as silly as that, but it basically, for me, it felt like we just didn't know how to be good in possession, and that's why Manu comes in. Like a player that we all wrote off, and it's like now we can play with the ball. And I wonder if we'd had him in there, or maybe have tweaked things a little bit, maybe we would have managed it a bit better. But
he's sort of made a little bit. He's sort of made a little bit of a comeback, hasn't he, Lanzini? I think he's doing really well. Him and Lingard, they like to play with each other, don't they? They seem to be doing well. It's good.
That's the mad thing about it was. There was a lot of question marks defensively. Could he do the job that he needed to? But actually a lot better under pressure than we gave him credit for. But because those players, like you mentioned, Lingard, Benrahma, Fornals, all trust him with the ball, we kept the ball a lot better. And you never really think those type of things through because I've never seen it at West Ham. We're so counter-attack and functional and transitional that when you see us play football, you think, we're all right, actually. We're not too bad. So fair play to him. We love him at West Ham. So if he can get a new lease of life, then fair play to him.
I personally think that Lingard should move to West Ham. I think, if he wants first team football, you guys love him. He plays well. And realistically, You know, he's not young now. There's this sort of like myth that he's still quite young, but you know, he's going on now, isn't he? You know, he's getting
He's
a
in his
little bit
prime, man.
older. Yeah,
28. So,
exactly. He's getting a little bit older now. What would you rather do? Go and have first team football at a good Premier League side, or go and sit on the bench at Man United, not playing because of Bruno Fernandes and that? So it's a no-brainer, really. Any footballer wants to play football. So I think if, you know, United let him go, I can see him definitely coming to you guys anyway. Hopefully, anyway, for you, Corey, because that'd be good if you can keep him as well.
they'll try and get Declan Rice on the off chance, won't they? So I'm expecting them to pull some dirty tricks. No doubt.
They always do. They always do. On to the last game of Sunday is Arsenal versus West Brom. Arsenal doing okay. They're not too bad. Obviously, West Brom realistically look like they're down now. But, you know, if they can get a win, who knows? But, yeah, what do you think that one's going to turn up? It's pretty obvious, isn't it, really?
I don't know. I think that this. I don't know whether it's Big Sam talking, because obviously he was at West Ham and he did a decent job for us. But Arsenal blow hot and cold, don't they? They're a bit of an odd side that they can actually play really well for 30 minutes, or even for, you know, against Burnley's the game for me. 20 minutes they were fantastic, and they just don't turn up for the rest. So anything can happen. I think a lot of it depends on how up for it West Brom are. I actually fancy a draw in this game, because I feel that West Brom on the counter have been relatively decent. I think Pereira is such a player. And I'll tell you what, I know we've got too many 10s, but if we could free up some space and get him in, I would, because he's that type of player you want to see on the ball, exciting, brilliant from set pieces. So I fancy a draw. I really don't rate Arsenal. I think they're a bit, I know they got a draw against us, but too inconsistent. I could see Arteta going at the end of the season as well.
Yeah.
Not done the job.
Yeah. So what score do you think that one's going to be?
1-1.
1-1.
Come on, you, up the baggies. Let's do it.
I've gone 3-0 Arsenal. I just think it'd be one of those games that they just, you know, tire them out with possession and then just manage to grab a few. But, you know, like you say, on the other hand, they could do what they've done, you know, at Stamford Bridge and do a job there.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's where West Brom got them, because of the pressing high on their centre backs. You do it to Arsenal, they'll crumble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. It'll be one or the other, that's for sure. But it'll be an interesting game, that one. It'll be what looks like on paper to not be one of the highlight games of the weekend. I reckon it could possibly be one of the decent games, you know. Who knows what could happen there? It'll be interesting. And on to the Monday Night Football, the last game that we're going to do predictions for, because if we actually did there's a game every single day after that. Until
Nice.
There's 2 Tuesday, 1 Wednesday, another Thursday. We play Friday. It's crazy. So I thought we'd be here all night, Corey, if we did all them. So we kind of stopped. So I thought I'd stop at game week 35.
Keep going, because then I can up my points.
Oh yeah, there we go. He wants them all.
I'll just cheat it.
Oh dear. So that is the last game we were doing is Fulham versus Burnley. You know, like we said the other, Scott Parker, you know, he's done okay, but, you know, disappointed with some of the results recently. And obviously Burnley, one of those sides that have had a really good part of the season, then some disappointing bits, you know. How do you think that one's going to go?
I think Burnley win. Like, honestly, it pains me to say I think Fulham have been, I don't really know. Like, it's hard to explain, but you can tell Parker's coached them very well. They play some good stuff. Yeah. What they're trying to play is really progressive and quite impressive from a newly promoted side. But again, the strikers have killed them. The lack of a striking option, or they've had Mitrovic, who last time he was up with Fulham scored a lot of goals, and they haven't been able to get him in and around there, and that's where ultimately they've lost it. But Burnley, I think they'll beat them. I think they gave us problems. I know we nullified them relatively well, but they don't switch off from minute go. They go for the full 90, which is a typical Sean Dyche side. So I think set pieces, they'll probably annihilate them from, and I'm going to go 2-0 Burnley. Chris Wood get one, and maybe Ashley Barnes turn up with the other. Because let's be honest, that's where their goals come from. So I can see it happening.
Yeah. Well, that's another one we've agreed on. I went 2-0 Burnley as well. You know, they do play some decent football when they actually play all right, you know. And they did cause you a few problems, but, you know, you obviously got the win in the end. But, you know, they're one of those sides, if it's a tough game, they'll beat you physically, no matter what, you know. No matter who you are, Turf Moor, they'll always give a fight. And, you know, obviously it's not Turf Moor, it's down at Craven Cottage. But, you know, on this one, their away form's good. The last away away trip was a 4-0 win at Molineux. So we'll see what happens there. We shall see what happens. And that completes the predictions for this week. Thank you for coming on, Corey. It's been brilliant.
No worries, man.
You've done a preview, haven't you, just before you came on with me?
Yeah, done a preview for the Everton game. Issa Diop's a bit of a topic. I don't know if you saw the first goal against Burnley, where it's come over the top of his head. Yeah, it's a bit of a topic with West Ham fans in a minute, so I haven't covered that in serious depth. But yeah, no, just doing the preview stuff and then loads more stuff out between now and Sunday and then a watch along. So
good stuff.
Jam-packed, man. Jam-packed.
Good stuff. And if you do want to check out any of Corey's content, get yourself over to West Ham Way. It's quality. You'll enjoy it, and it's good to have another perspective of another fan of the games. And obviously being a West Ham fan, hear the opinions of how it's going on in a very successful season so far. So yeah, thank you, Corey, for coming on. We appreciate it, Man City Fan TV. We'll definitely have you on again, that's for sure. No doubt about that. And fingers crossed, we've got you in the Champions League with us next season, and you could be on one of the Champions League shows, eh? That'd be all right, won't it?
Can you imagine? I'll be abroad, mate. You won't be able to catch me. You have to get me on the string on the phone.
That's fun, We'll get you on phone. We'll get you on phone. We'll record a FaceTime or something. We'll do that. You'll be everywhere, won't you? But yeah, 100%. It's been a pleasure, mate. So thank you, and make sure you go and check out Corey's channel, the West Ham Way on YouTube. Go and check it out. So yeah, thank you, Corey, for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I will continue on. We're going to do a bit of PSG review. So yeah, thank you, mate, and look after yourself.
Take care,
I'll probably see you. I'll probably see you tomorrow.
You will.
All right.
You will.
Yeah. All right. See you later. Bye, mate. Bye. There you go. So that's Corey from the West Ham Way. Absolute top bloke. So yeah, make sure you go and check out his stuff. So then, it's me and you for the rest of the show now. We'll probably do another 20, 25 minutes. We'll see how it floats. But yeah, I'll give you my little opinion on the Tuesday night. Absolutely brilliant result, wasn't it, guys? Honestly, absolutely brilliant. I was so proud of the boys. The celebrations in my household were absolutely crazy. The fact that PSG came to ours, had no shots on target, it just shows you how good and how well we played that game. You have to look at players like Diaz putting every single block, Mahrez scoring, Zinchenko showing the passion. You can't fault any of the players. I'm glad I hadn't done a player ratings on it. I'm glad Andy did it because I couldn't have made any other rating for any player other than a 10. They all deserved it. Literally, they were all as good as each other. From Edison playing that ball to Zinchenko wearing his heart on his sleeve, Kevin playing through, Foden, everybody's been playing so well and they deserved it. And obviously, Andy didn't get a chance to do the man of the match last night, but the community chat, I shall get up what the results for the man of the match were and what you guys and who you guys thought the man of the match were. Let me just get it up quickly. And there you go. So, the results are in. We had 418 votes. The results, the votes are getting higher and higher. It's brilliant, honestly. It really is. And we had Zinke, Diaz, Stonesy, Mahrez, and all of them. So we had John Stones on 0%, the poor sod. Then we had Zinke with 6%. All of them with 21%. Mahrez with 23%. And this man, Ruben Diaz, has won it with 50%. An absolute beast, honestly. I can't describe how much love I have for this man. He's just an absolute beast. Like, just look at him. He's our centre back, and that's all I have to say. He is our centre back, and to see at the end of the night the guys celebrating, like this, it's just brilliant, innit? This is the passion. This is the side that we want to get into this final. We want them to show it. The passion on Kyle's face there, the team, the unity. It's why we love Man City. It's why we love them. They're doing us proud. And, I love this one that Andy's put in here. The Oil Club. There you go. For all the salty fans that don't like us, there you go. Have that. But yeah, well-deserved man of the match from Man City Fan TV subscribers. It certainly was. That is Andy on. And I must say, Diaz deserves that. I was going to give him it. absolutely brilliant. Although Mahrez was a close second, obviously getting 3 goals out of the 4 in the 2 legs. It's brilliant from him. There's no denying the talent that he's bringing at the moment. He's showing up in the big games, and we've missed that. And when Sterling's not firing all cylinders at the moment, which is disappointing, hopefully he can come back into it soon. It's good to see someone taking the opportunities, and Mahrez is doing that at the moment, and it shows. It does show, how good they are and how good they're doing. It's just brilliant. And going back to Ruben, if he doesn't get captaincy after Dino leaves, I don't know what's wrong. I obviously think probably Kevin might get it, but I really think Diaz should get it. I really think he should. But yeah, Andy's just on. He's saying, "Oh, good, Jack. Been setting up office equipment all afternoon, but great to sit down and watch the TNT." There's a few people watching the TNT tonight, I know, sitting, relaxing, watching me, which is what you want, That's what we're here for on a Thursday evening, It gets to the end of the day, you're chilling out, I don't know what you're doing, you're sitting on your sofa watching me, or you're avoiding everybody else, and you want to watch me, which is what you want, innit? It is what you want. So, that's that covered. So now, we've got a little bit of a Q&A. I'll do a bit of a Q&A at the end. If you've got any questions regarding City, anything, you know where it is. Get it on. Get them in the comments. I will answer them all. And obviously, there's only been 22 of you on at the moment, get as many questions as you want in. You don't just have to ask one. So for all you guys in the comments, get it in. Get your questions in. Ask as many as you want, and I'll answer them because you're the loyal members of the TNT show. We love you. There's a lot of you that stay in and support me week in, week out. So make sure you get your questions in now, and I will answer every single question up to a certain point, obviously, that gets put in this chat. I will do. So yeah. But whilst they're coming in, I'm going to do a nice little advertisement of our brilliant Patreon members. Here they are. So we've got Iota Thompson, Sean Fogarty, Philip Ward, Malcolm Horner, Ozzy, Charlie Everett, Ronnie Beaver, Unai Septium, and we've got SOS 2907, John Snet Petril, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, the last name, Mike Bush, Connor Shaw, and Addy. All legends. Thank you very much for obviously being Patreon members. You are legends. And also, we're 80 subscribers off the 17k mark, which is absolutely brilliant news. It's brilliant. Anyway, the questions are coming in now. So let's see. City Chippy saying, who gets the Ballon d'Or this season? It's tough. It is tough. You know what? Kevin is in with a shout. I think Ruben Diaz is in with a shout. If we win the Champions League, I reckon one of the City players might win it because realistically, Ronaldo, Messi haven't done as good. Lewandowski could be up there, but he's injured, and they went out of the quarterfinals of the Champions League. It's all about success. And if we win the Premier League, if we win the Premier League, the Champions League, and the Carabao, if one of our lads don't get it, it's beyond me. It is beyond me if none of them get it. Thank you for giving us the thumbs up. I appreciate that, Dudley. And Andy's giving his response to the Ake things, and he thinks the reports are garbage. He's been injured most of the season. Why move to another club when he's won a Carabao Cup medal, about to win a Premier League medal, and possibly a Champions League medal? That is very good. Very good. What do you think the lineup is for the weekend? I think it'll be heavily rotated. Hold on a second. Andy's saying we'll discuss that lineup in the Chelsea preview in the FNS tomorrow night. I'll just give you quickly. I think it'll be a 4-4-2 and he'll play Surgeon that up front. That's what I think anyway. But yeah, I'll leave the rest for Andy on that for tomorrow night. How many times have you been to the pub since it's reopened? That's a good question. That I do go to Wetherspoons before college. I do tend to go, and I have been after as well. That is a tough one. That it's definitely double figures now. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna. I think it must be because I've been to Wetherspoons. I've been to a pub on walks and stuff like that. I've been to pubs when I've been on holiday, to my caravan too. Yeah, so we definitely are in double figures now, and why not? Why not? We might as well enjoy it whilst it's still open. It's what it's about, innit? You know it is, and it's brilliant to get a pint after a long day at work as well, because we have a clubhouse, so I've been going there too. So it's been good. It has been good. Blue Moon asks, best goal this season, hard one. It is a tough one, that, innit? It is a tough one. I'm going to say Phil Foden's at Anfield. I think, that the technical ability to weave in and out of those goons and smash it in that top corner for 4-1 is where it's at. But, there's been some beauties this season, you could say Mahrez's free kick was, that's the most important goal, I think. That was the most important goal, but it wasn't necessarily the best goal, if that makes sense. Let's have a look. Jack Lee, Fernandinho, Yaya Toure. Well, that's a tough question. That is a tough question. Oh dear me, that's really hard. Come on, Jack, man, you've got me in the stomach here, haven't you, mate? I have to say Fernandinho. I'm sorry, Fernandinho, just on the fact that he's just a true legend, as is Yaya Toure, I must say. But Dino hasn't caused any problems ever since he's been at the club, and that's the only reason he gets picked over Yaya, because they're both technically aware in different ways. Dino more defensive, Yaya obviously was the attacking man. But yeah. Who do you think is the most underrated manager in the Premier League? I really think it's Graham Potter. I think he's a really good manager at Brighton. I think he does a really, really good job, and I really think that he is a really underrated. This is a really, really underrated manager. I think he does a really good job. The attacking style he does, the defence, he plays free at the back with fullbacks, and he has Dan Burn, who's 6'4", like I said earlier with Corey, running up and down the wings like a madman, doing a really good job. So yeah, I'd have to say Graham Potter for that one. Let's have a look. Weatherspoons before college. City Chippy, sort your lad out. It's cheaper than the dog and gun, Andy. It certainly is. It certainly is. Further all day, proper professional. Exactly. That's the only reason he's been picked before. That's the only reason why. Yeah, I hate playing the same opponent twice in 2 big games. Whoever we play, we should be able to handle them. We did not look outclassed in the FA Cup, just a flat and tired. Yeah, exactly. Blue Moon said Mahrez or Bernardo. That's another tough one, really. For this season and for what he's done, I have to say Riyadh, personally. I have to say Riyadh. He's done good. Cake before Dino says the Formidables. Foden, KDB and Mahrez should not play this Saturday. I don't trust Chelsea players. No, I agree. I really do agree with that. We've got Andy saying David Moyes for me, and if I'm being honest, excellent at EFC, Everton Football Club, and West Ham United spoiled his reputation. Yeah, I think David Moyes is a brilliant manager. United ruined what he had. When he was at Everton, he was a manager feared by many, many teams. We didn't go there and win for Everton. For some of you might not know, but Everton was our bogey team for many years. We went to Goodison. We always seemed to mess it up. But yeah, that's what it is. I do think David Moyes is a very underrated manager. So that is another good shout. But obviously, like I say, Graham Potter was for me. I thought he's doing a good job. I really think so. But I think it's the same team as Palace against Chelsea this week. And yeah, I was saying that earlier. I think he will go 4-4-2, definitely. I think he definitely will go 4-4-2. Any more questions? Last few, and then I will start to wrap it up. We'll finish for the evening. If there's any more questions in the next minute or so, there you go. And, I might as well, as you're getting in your questions, just to put up another brilliant picture. And that's that one. The team. Our boys. Proud of them. Any more questions? They're the boys. Just the passion. Look at them. It's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, there you go. Fantasizing over them again. Hey, up. It's 3-2 in Rome. Not exactly what we wanted to hear. But yeah. Let's have a look. Best player in the Premier League, says Sean Fogarty. Kevin De Bruyne, thank you very much. Kevin is the best man. Jack Lee is saying, what's your favourite strong ale? Wow, it's a tough one, really, isn't it? But for me, it's a tough one. John Smith's a nice one there. You've got Guinness, not too bad. Yeah, it's quite an hard one, that, Jack. Quite an hard one. But yeah, I'd probably have to go for a nice Guinness or something like that. Blue Moon is saying, who do you think's been the best goalkeeper this season? Up to a certain point, I've said Emiliano Martinez at Aston Villa. I think he was doing a brilliant job. But, realistically, Ederson is doing such a brilliant job for us. He assists, he makes good saves, and he's just a brilliant person to have in the goals, and he is the man for me. He is the man for me. So we will go with Eddie Marej, that's for sure. There you go. McEwen's Champion Ale. You know what, Jack? I'll have to try a bit of that, mate. I'll have to try a bit of that. Let's see if your reputation of beer tasting is good. Being a Yorkshire lad, are you into rugby league? If so, what team? No. I'm not into rugby really. It's football for me, mate, unfortunately. But no. Local teams, I don't really know, to be honest. To be honest, mate, I'm not really into rugby. I watch the England and the Six Nations, all that stuff, but realistically, locally, I don't really take an interest. There we go. We've got a few more, and then we'll finish. Question: discuss. Who would you rather fight, one hyena or 100 sewer rats? 100 sewer rats. That's who I'd like to fight, because you could stamp on them rather than the hyena, who's can put up a fight. We don't want that. Maybe on the back foot, literally. If we do play the Champions League final in UK Millennium Stadium, in the final in the UK, Millennium Stadium, Wembley or Villa Park, personally, I'd like it to be Wembley, the National Stadium of England, two English sides battling it out. That'd be brilliant, Hopefully we can have a few fans in there too. There was talks, if it does still go on at Turkey, 4,000 each, which will be really good if we can get the numbers out there. But, who's going to go with the quarantine rules when you come back? That's the only thing. I don't know if we'd go. It'd be interesting to see if we got offered a ticket, but I highly doubt it. Bearing in mind it's not even 4 weeks away now, so who knows? Sewer rats can be 16 inches long. Well, I still stamp on them. I don't care. I'll be panicking like mad. Oh dear. Joe R. Edison. Honestly, that's a tough one again, isn't it? For the leg, for what he's done recently, I'm gonna go Edison. I'll stop my love for Joe Hart and just base it on facts. There you go. There we go. But yeah, we'll end on that one. Me crying about me finally denying Joe Hart of his love. But yeah, it's time to love someone else now. Honestly, stamp on him. You must have big feet. Yeah, I do. 9.5 or nines now. 9.5, 8.5. I don't know. It depends what shoe I'm wearing, Andy, to be honest with you. But yeah. These steel toe caps that we wear in Yorkshire, that they are good. They are good. So yeah, we'll have them. Yeah, exactly. Hyenas would just tear you apart. Exactly. Honestly, and on that note, I'm off to 9 big feet. He's taking the mick out of me now. He is taking the mick out of me. Honestly, just to finish off, Sean Fogarty or Mancini. I was about to say there. It's you every time, Sean. Don't you worry, mate. Pep or Mancini, for what he's done. Josep Guardiola. He's doing brilliant at the moment. He's an absolute legend. So yeah, that is the end of the TNT show for another week. Thank you, obviously, for watching. You're legends as always. It's brilliant having you on. Make sure you obviously check out Corey's channel, The West Ham Way. Go and check out. He's a brilliant man. I know everybody's saying there's Pep here. Pep, of course. Pep all day long, 100%. But yeah. That is what we're talking about. We've had another successful show. We're just about to hit the 50th minute mark, which is good. And yeah, before I leave you, just a reminder of our Patreon members there again. I won't read out the names because I already read them out once, but there you go. You know who you are. Thank you for being it. And if you want to be a Patreon member, you know where to join. And obviously, like I said earlier, we are 80 subscribers off the 17K mark, which will be class. So yeah. Thank you for joining. And I usually end it just on the outro, City, but I have to put my the legend up before we leave. Ice cold man, Ruben Diaz. Look after yourselves, Blues. Take care, and always #let's have it. #up the Blues. Look after yourselves. See you next week.